Everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play Ark the Lad Twilight of the Spirits, featuring me, UltraGamerJ. In our last episode, we finally dealt with Droguza once and for all, while asking ourselves if we were the baddies or bad guys in that scenario, because we were attacking a Deimos, an individual who was blind, which technically made him disabled. Never got an answer to that in the comments section at the time of this video being posted, or when it was first posted. But before we go try to start amending fences here in Yewbell, I have some exciting news to share with everyone. Controversial voice actor Corina Boettger has stepped down from her role as Paimon in the game Genshin Impact. I mean, she says that she quit, but considering her behavior online and in interviews with other YouTubers, I'm inclined to believe that Hoyoverse gave her an ultimatum, that either she... How do I put this? Either she resigned from the company, or they outright fire her, but regardless of the result, she's more or less been blacklisted from the industry. And I could not be happier considering the fact that, well, Boettger is guilty of taking people, of more or less gaslighting and manipulating her fellow voice actors in the Screen Actors Guild to make them send threats, or make threats in real life, to fellow voice actor Erica Harlacher, just because she made the mistake of starring or providing voiceover for a non-union production, despite being a member of the Screen Actors Guild. She made him... I mean, if she didn't know that she wasn't allowed to do that anymore, then Harlacher is not at fault. She just didn't know. She just didn't get the memo. Oh. Manipulating people in your coworkers and people online to harass someone that you don't like, that's a dick move. I don't know why, but I feel like if Corina Boettger were to have a docudrama made about her life, her childhood, her autism diagnosis, her relationship with her parents, her high school and college years, how she got into the voiceover industry, the, in her personal opinion, heart-wrenching Sophie's Choice level sacrifices that she had to make that would make the book-turned movie, Angela's Ashes, look like a G-rated Disney TV movie by comparison. Well, I would like to take a moment to audition to do the role, to audition for the disclaimer of such a video, or for that docudrama. Warning. The docudrama concerning this voice actor contains obvious scenes of allegories, pretentious metaphors, and eye-rolling self-pity. Therefore, it is not recommended for college film students or Morrissey fans. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. And scene. And you know what would be the absolute worst part of such a thing? Of that hypothetical docudrama? That not even 2 minutes in, and the poor audience would be subjected to an allegory of the Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale beloved by women everywhere, The Little Mermaid. Specifically the version where she dies and turns into sea foam. Not only would that story be read aloud to the audience by the actress playing Boettger in the docudrama, but it would be accompanied by illustrations of the story that look like they came out of a book of fairy tales that was intended for children. Now, I suppose one could make the argument that this would be the docudrama's way of trying to warn the audience well in advance that the story it's going to be telling will not have a happy ending. But if you're a snarky and sarcastic smartass who tends to overthink things like I am, well, I can't speak for everyone, but if I saw that the plot of such a movie had practically been spelled out for me in that specific fashion, I would be asking myself the question, is this movie insulting my intelligence? Because it is the easiest way to boil my piss. Then again, considering that this is Corina Boettger, she would probably insist that the crybaby sob story she uses to justify being a remorseless asshole whenever she can, as much as she can, be as haughty and derisive to the audience as possible. Like, where was I going with this? I had more to it. I covered the allegory, I covered the docudrama. Yeah, I feel no sympathy for Boettger's situation because, well, especially because she checks off most of the boxes to be considered a sociopath. She checks off the box for superficial charm because she initially came into the industry with an air of amicability, a sort of charisma that made people want to be friends with her, that made her seem friendly and approachable. But whenever she has an interview with a YouTuber, from what I've seen, it does not take long for the facade or mask that she wears in public to fall off. She checks off the box for being reckless because recklessness is also one of the qualities a sociopath has, due to the fact that when she was criticized for her behavior and her sense of entitlement, she went on record insisting that she owned the intellectual property that is the character Paimon in Genshin Impact, simply because she provided the English voiceover. Boettger also checks the box for lack of empathy because she has not apologized to Erica Harlacher for the harassment that she indirectly subjected Harlacher to. And finally, there is one last box left to check. We've already checked superficial charm, lack of empathy, and recklessness. The last box that to be checked is inflated ego, which you could also, I would make the which I would also use the example of her insisting that she owns characters like this one minor magical girl from the anime Magia Record, which is a sort of spin-off anime to the Magical Girl Madoka anime, or that she owns the character TK from the 2020 reboot of Digimon Adventure, simply because she provided voiceover for them. I'm sure there are other examples that could be used, but that's just what comes to me off the top of my head. So yeah, though it's very unlikely that Boettger would ever get herself tested to see if she's a sociopath, because she's either her pride won't allow it, or she's too scared that the test will come back positive and she will be further ostracized from from human society. You probably can't hear it right now, but my cat Jerry is squawking like crazy. I think he wants me to stop playing Kick the Sociopath. Jerry, I will keep playing Kick the Sociopath as long as it makes me happy. If you want to get in my lap, then just get in my lap. Don't run around the apartment and howling like a coyote. Or do you just have the zoomies? You know what? I'm just gonna go back to going through this. I've pretty much said my piece. Nation is not the first word I would use to describe Yewbell. Town? Yes. Nation? No. You're actually capable of remorse, and you gave an apology that isn't empty. What a step up from Corina Boettger. Yes, I know that bar is so low that it's either at the bottom of the Mariana Trench, or it could be used in official limbo competitions. But if there's anything I've learned in life, it's to take the victories where you can find them. This game may have been released in 2003, back when people being able to feel remorse was less of a rarity as opposed to nowadays. But I'm proud of you. You don't have an actual name, but I'm proud of you. Well, as long as you stop being a gossiping housewife, I guess I can let it be water under the bridge. Or rather, Karg can. Because they are feeling an emotion that is very rare nowadays in the year, or rather 20 years from the time of this game's release. It's called remorse, or guilt, or shame. Something our society seems to have forgotten. You're supposed to say, quote, "I'm sorry" first, then I can forgive you. Pretty sure that's how it works, but only if you deserve that forgiveness. This might come as a shock to some members of my audience, but I don't really interact with people unless I absolutely have to. In the flesh, mind you. See, Butch has the right idea. You say you're sorry, and then explain why you're apologizing. That way, it doesn't feel empty. Because apologies, these are an IOU, not a cashed check. You build up the credit to cash that metaphorical check by taking measures to ensure the behavior that you are apologizing for does not happen again. I don't recall you being part of the angry mob that ran Karg out of town. I honestly think you are, that the proprietress is metaphorically glued to behind that bar table. In all fairness, Duncan, we had no idea that you were the one who led the angry mob. Thing new? It's probably with Maru and Paulette and Gons and Tatjana. In the meantime, let's get rid of what we don't need. Come on, I know there was one thing here we had that can only be equipped to Samson, so it's got no business being in our inventory because he is never coming back. It was fun having him around while it lasted, though. It's like everyone else? Or do you think the weapons part merchant apologizing is the same, covers your apology as well? I don't mean to be a judgmental jerk-ass, it's just... Oh, shit. I can't see the kitty. This is the first... Fixing this house and the door is the first thing that takes priority. Well, as long as if you manage to get the kitty out safely, I'll call it, or rather, we will call it even. Because even though I'm playing as Karg, I am not really Karg. It's more like I'm possessing him. Maybe. Who the hell knows? You're supposed to say I'm sorry first. Since you said you're sorry, she probably does. I mean, chances are if she said she had a husband, but that he died, you would have understood. Or it wouldn't have been a complete lie. She just didn't tell you that the husband was Deimos. Or more specifically, the baby daddy, since she and Windolf didn't get married, which would mean that Karg and Dark are children born out of wedlock. Good sir, the less we think about how Windolf and Nafia met each other, fell in love, and decided that they should make the Beast of Two Backs, the better. It's kind of like thinking about what would the world be like if Darkham had developed a cure for AIDS. The best thing to do is not think about it. Once again, I'd like to point out how amazing it is that Karg survived that little improvised amateur surgery. And, I mean, he probably wouldn't have been able to use those wings anyway. They probably would have just atrophied or something, I don't know. So yeah, getting them taken off would probably have helped anyway, because those wings would have just been like, I'm of the mindset that if it doesn't serve a functional purpose, then what's the point of having it around? But though, to be fair, this is coming from someone who is a taste eater versus a texture eater when it comes to food and cooking, so you should probably not take my word for it. Or you should probably not listen to that particular opinion. If there's anything you're allowed to have on this YouTube channel, it's an opinion. I just warn you to be prepared that people are going to challenge that opinion. If there's one thing that makes Paulette much more qualified to be Karg's girlfriend, it's the fact that she does not get kidnapped at the drop of a hat like Lilia does. Now let's check out that grave that they've made for Nafia. That's nice. I can say with certainty that Corina Boettger would never get a tomb headstone or grave that looked that nice, considering that she has... well, she has become to voice actors, or is to voice actors, and the voice actors that are striking to, or rather fighting to earn, for everyone in that profession to earn a living wage and not have their jobs stolen by AI. Well, this is just me speaking. Feel free to quote me on this, but Corina Boettger is to voice actors what serial killer John Wayne Gacy was to birthday clowns. In that she is a tremendous step back. Now I'm officially done with playing Kick the Boettger. Or, more specifically, Kick the Entitled American Princess. I've said my piece. I'm done. No more. In the first episode of this Let's Play, or playthrough, or whatever the proper term is, I said that one of the things I liked about this game was that it's not perfect. I feel like that came out wrong, so I feel like I need to reword what I said. The reason I'm not hung up on how it's explained, or on how they never really go into detail about how Windolf met Karg and Dark's mother, Nafia, is because I'm more interested in dwelling or focusing on everything this game's story has done right. In which it's done quite a few things right. And there's going to be quite a few things that it does right later. Especially for Maru. But yeah, as we get to Thuner Point, there's gonna be a filler fight or two, so I don't want to subject anyone to that, especially since I spent a good chunk of this episode giving someone the reason you suck speech, no matter how justified it may or may not be. So, with that said, this has been UltraGamerJ signing off, hoping to see you all in the next video. And please remember to like and subscribe for more content.